in this video, I want to talk a little bit about my experience. Why did this Jamaican woman decide to leave our yard in Jamaica to travel all the way to Japan? Like so many hours away, right? Welcome to my channel, all the way from Tokyo in Japan. So as the shirt suggests, you probably see the big Jamaican right here. Yes, I am Jamaican, missing my yard, especially now at this moment. There is just so much that's going on all over the world. Yesterday I was thinking to myself and I'm like, oh my God, Sandy, what a time to be abroad. There are so many uncertainties, like things are just so unpredictable. I lived in Jamaica all of my life, and I got to a place where I started to pray and to seek God concerning my career, my purpose, concerning, my desire for a life partner and everything. And then I started getting some answers. And one of the answers that I got was to move to Japan. I actually got a dream that I was in Japan, and not only once, but I got it more than once. And so I believed at that time that yes, God was leading me to come to this country. And so I packed my life up into 3 pieces of luggage. I gave clothes away, gave away shoes, gave away perfume, everything. And I gave up my place of residence. I sold my car, and I just told myself that I'm gonna follow in the leading of the Lord, and I am gonna go where He sends me. And I remember when I was packing up to leave home, how did I feel? I wasn't over the top excited, I had this sense of stillness, a subtle sort of expectancy. But it's not like I was thinking like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and I was not scared. And so I moved. I moved to live in a small town called Kakuda. Very small town. There were no malls, no fast food restaurants. All I saw were rice fields and some convenience stores scattered here and there. There were a lot of elderly people and a couple small children, but it was very, very quiet. And so I moved into my apartment, this small apartment called D Space, and I was excited about being there. I remember I was excited about getting my first apartment and stuff, and I was excited about making it home and excited about living on my own, away for the first time from family and just everybody. So I was excited about that. What I did not expect though was that 3 months into moving, that the honeymoon period would just pass. I mean, hello? Like, here I am in Japan, I'm supposed to be living my best life. Like, where is the honeymoon period going? And so I sunk into a deep place of depression. I think, like, even to explain depression, to describe it as depression would perhaps be an understatement. But I started feeling so low, and I started experiencing things concerning my hair starting to change, my skin starting to respond just to the environment and to my normal products differently. And so I had those struggles that just started popping up that I was not expecting. There was also something else interesting that happened, and it's only today that I found a phrase or a tagline to describe it. I went through what I would call a spiritual quarantine. So at the time, there was so much that was going on. I was meeting so many people, having so many experiences, and in my estimation, I would think to myself that this would have been the perfect time to share on social media, to show everything that was happening, because it was so new and it was so exciting. But on the inside, deep down, it was almost as if I sensed that it was time to stop. Stop doing everything that you're doing. And I went through this place, this period of such isolation. There were just a few people who spoke English who I could speak with. And so it was a very lonely period of going to work, coming home. I did not realize that I was being fortified at the time. When I withdrew and I stopped posting on social media, there was a time when I felt within myself that I had failed. I felt as if there was a mission for me in coming to Japan, and I really felt like I had failed. And after my first year, I moved from where I was living to Tokyo and went through that adjustment of moving from a small town to living in a bigger city. And I remember one day, like I was praying, I was walking to a class and I was praying and I was like, God, I feel like I failed you. I feel like I have not done what you have sent me here to do. And as I was walking, I heard like a little still voice that said to me, but Sandy, you're still there, you're still here. And like I was thinking about all the opportunities that I had, like all the stories that I had heard that I thought was just gold. And like, for example, the monk who I met in my town, I was like, his story was just so glorious. And the voice said to me, but you're still here. You can still go back, you can still get those stories and you can still share. And then towards the latter part of 2019, I started to sense a sort of refreshing where I started to come alive. And then something happened in January of 2020 where it was just like this outburst, this explosion of a desire to share and to create. And after so many months, I found myself writing and editing videos, some of which I shared. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get a microphone. Microphone not showing right now though. I'm gonna get a microphone. I'm gonna really do this, you know what I mean? And I said to myself, I am going to start in March. I am going to start in spring. Interestingly, during the very same period, this thing about the coronavirus just pop up out of the blues. And by March 1st, was it March 1st? Yeah, like just this week, the schools were ordered to close. A shutdown, all the schools shut down. And so in the very period that I got the go-ahead to start, it was a time that so many things were stopping. And so I said to myself, I'm like, it's so uncanny that I sense this sort of release and this sort of refreshing and just rejuvenation in a time when there is just so much panic and fear all around me. And so really and truly, I do not understand my life anymore. I do not understand the journey. Like, I have just surrendered to the journey. I have just surrendered to this journey because I can't figure it out. I will make a plan, and what I plan to do, it does not happen that way, and then life just does its own thing. And I've just begun to realize that, that's beautiful. Let God have his way, right? Here I am now. I'm living in Tokyo, and I wanted to start sharing some of my experiences and also some of the things that I've learned. In February, I went back to the town where I lived, and I went back to the apartment, and it was such a strange moment. It felt big for me, and it felt big in a way that it was hard for me to explain. It just, how I described it, it felt as if everything was just coming full circle. That's how it felt. And at that time, I had more perspective and I could see where I started, like you were here, and the process that I had to go through to get to where I am right now. And now I think to myself, like, I'm like, God, I just thank you for that period that you took me through of strengthening me, because if I had not been stretched to that capacity where I had to dig deep within myself to find new levels of faith, new levels of hope, new ways to encourage myself in that place of quarantine, then I don't know how even now I would have the capacity to endure some of the things that are happening now. And so I give God thanks for that. And so in the next video, I want to share with you just the experience of going back to my old town. I want to show you how it looks. I want to share with you the meeting, the reconnection with my Japanese mother, a lady in the town who adopted me and took so much care of me during my first year. And also I want to say to the Jamaicans who are living in China and to the Jamaicans who are living in Japan, I know it's a very scary period. I just want to encourage you, even in the midst of everything that is happening, to find a way to find peace. Even though everything around you seems as if it's falling apart, find a way to dwell or tap into that inner peace. And trust God that He will bring you through it. Certainly has not taken you all the way from Jamaica to where you are for come kill you off in a China or Japan. So be encouraged, pray, find ways, light some candles, play your music, have food in your house, talk to people who encourage you and people who make you feel happy, and just trust that this too will pass. Okay, so alright guys, I will see you in the next vlog. I'm so excited. Bye bye.
Sandy,
Ready?
where are you going?
I am going to Kakuda to see my Japanese mother and friends.
And where are you now?
I'm in Ishinomaki.
Hi.
So
Tanashin there?
Tanashin.
Hi. Okay, so we're crossing the road to my train station. Rikuzeni Yamanashita. Chotomate. Coco.